Okay, it's 10 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And what we're going to do, since we got a lot of people in attendance because of the interest in this particular meeting, we are going to follow what we have posted as the agenda.
Great.
So the solar will actually fall into, will be the next to the last item on the docket. So Tony, we'll get started there. We'll do the minutes first though. And Stan, you weren't here, so Steve, I'll need to have a nomination from you and make a motion to accept the minutes if there's no changes that you want to make on them.
So moved.
Okay, I will go ahead and second that. The minutes have been approved. It's my monitor.
Uh-oh. Good or bad?
Well, it still says
We want
that.
to print those minutes. I forgot to print them.
Oh.
Just print them now. So
Okay,
we'll
okay,
just
that's
sign
fine.
them.
I'm sorry, I wear a heart monitor and sometimes it goes off at, when I least expect it, so we'll just have to work around that. I apologize for that. Okay, Tony, you're gonna be up.
Okay, I have a few things here. First, we have the utilities that were paid on 7/14, and I'll pass that around. The amount for the utilities is $36,503.58. $36,503.58.
There it is, Stan.
Need a motion on that?
We will, yes.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and second that we approve the utilities at $36,503.58.
Okay, and then the next thing is we need a motion and a vote to allow Rex to sign off the title on the Golden Meadows van that was totaled in the accident down in Bryant, so that we can do all the insurance stuff. We have, Rex has to sign off on the title.
Okay, I'll need a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded that I go ahead and sign off the title for the 2010 wrecked van, Golden Meadows.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. And we have, we are in a rebate program, PBM rebate share with Allied. Pharmacy benefit manager is what that is. We received a check for $52,610.59. So that will be going into the health insurance. We don't need a motion or anything. I'm just notifying you of that. And at some point when I get down to it, I'll just tell you now. After the claims, assuming you approve those here in a minute, and with the addition of this 52,610, there will be a, excuse me, a total in the checking account of $144,806.86. That's what the total will be when we're done with all the transactions today, including the addition of the 52,000. In reserve, we will have approximately 2.5 million in the reserve that gains interest. So that's just informational stuff there. We have, I'll give you the Allied monthly claims first, and I'll pass those around for you to see those. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate it. $51,830.62. That's the Allied monthly. $51,830.62. There you go.
Okay.
I'll pass that around for y'all to look at. And here are the minutes, by the way.
Looks like it's about the same from what it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to sign these too or not?
Okay, so we need a motion on Allied monthly benefits, $51,830.62.
So
Unless
moved.
you got a question on them. I'll need a second on that, Steve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded that we approve the Allied monthly claim of $51,830.62. Motion carries.
Okay, now I have Allied weekly claims. And the weekly claims amount is $64,310.19, and that is all pharmacy, it looks like. Yeah, pharmacy. Or, no, not all pharmacy. Medical is 28.7, pharmacy is 35.5 approximately. 64,310.19.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded that we go ahead and approve Allied weekly claims of $64,310.19.
Second.
That's Elaine Shackley. What's the amount on that?
$2,916.67.
We have Elaine Shafley next, 2009-16-67. It's her monthly fee as a consultant.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve Elaine Shapley's claim 2009-16-67.
Got it. And I passed out to each of you prior to the meeting the monthly weights and measures report from Dan Hackman. So we would need a motion for approval on that. It looks like, let me see.
We got four correct inspections.
Yep.
No
No
rejections at all.
So that's good.
Okay, any questions on that, gentlemen?
Nope.
I need a motion to accept that report.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve weights and measures report for the month.
Okay. Next, we have payroll claims paid on 7/9/21, 3/13, 2/17/57, 3/13, 2/17/57 payroll claims. I'm sorry, I'm making you nervous, Rick.
I just can't count on it.
It's just, I do that to people. I don't know.
It did so well for a long period of time here, and now it's just going stupid. There you go. I need a motion on the payroll claims.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded, we approve payroll claims of $313,217.57.
Okay. Next, we have accounts payable claims, and these are paid, they will be paid 7/21/21. And the total amount of the accounts payable is $577,540.96. And Bree emailed those to you folks ahead of time. I think some of the heavy hitters in that one was, congratulations, Brad, for the highway department. And I think CBTS was another one, where some of the bigger ones in, that's why it's a little higher than normal.
Yeah.
This is the time to work on roads. So 577, 540.96.
Any additional questions on it?
Nope. Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motions are made and seconded to approve the claims of 577, 540.96.
There's that. And the last thing that I have, Bree, Shannon, and myself were speaking with Lau this week.
Sorry.
And you're fine. I'll talk a little louder. And we have the money in our budget to do all of this. And what it is Lau can do remote claims. In other words, the departments can enter their own claims, get them over to Bree. This is something that will actually be beneficial to the departments and to our office both. And the setup fee for that is $4,000, and added onto the maintenance fee that they already have with Lau Financial, it's another $1,000 per year. But like I said, we have the money in the budget to cover that. Did they say how soon or what the setup time was or anything of that nature? So this could be done fairly quickly. We might have to meet or somehow talk to the departments on what this means for them. But it will save some steps.
Set a week or two and they can roll it out for our departments that are open.
Okay, did you two want to speak on this at all? Or did I say it okay?
Yeah, it would just be that they would still scan their claims into Doc Record like we currently do, the payroll this way, and then the departments would enter their claims into LAO. And then I would then double check them and make sure that stuff's correct from there. And finish out the claim process as far as printing checks, sending ACH. So the only thing that would change would be the departments would enter their claims.
So would it save you time? Good. You'd still have to just double check them, but I mean, you wouldn't have to re-enter or reconcile or anything else.
Right, like I would still balance at the end and really the only difference would be they would be entering them instead of me. Now, there are some departments that can't have access to LAO, so I know there's still some that I would have to enter, but it would obviously be a lot less than what I do now.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, anything else, Donnie?
I don't know if we need a motion on that or not, do we, Mark?
No, I don't
I
believe
don't
so.
think we do on that one.
Okay. All right. That is all I have.
Okay, Brad, you're up.
All right, good morning, morning.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
The first thing I have today, I have the contracts for the two firms that are doing our community crossings work. The one Judy Excavating for Bridge 106 and Brooks Construction for the paving. So I need to have Rex sign the contracts and Tony attest to them.
Just need a motion to approve the contract.
Go ahead and approve.
Motion,
Okay, gentlemen,
So moved. Second.
motion's been made and seconded. We'll go ahead and approve me signing that contract for you.
and I have 3 copies of each, so. Sorry about taking all this time.
That's okay.
I think they were quite a bit less, weren't they? Everybody.
Yeah.
So one of those be for me to take.
Yeah, and then keep one of them.
Cool. We don't have to type everything out.
One more.
There you go.
Two. I'll give you the copy in the paper. The other 3 right there.
Oh.
I gotta give you the rest of the paperwork too. Should be on a stamp.
Okay. Fill it out later on in minutes, yeah. We'll scan it, listen to it anyways.
Okay,
And then the next item I would like to bring up is last week, we opened up the bids for the 1200 South Wabash River, the road stabilization project. Went through them, everything looked good. So today I would like to ask your permission to go ahead and award it to Primco. They were the low bidder on the project.
okay, gentlemen, any questions on that?
Do we ask for the same thing on those bids that we do for other bridges as far as the, all the letters of,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, basically it's the same
And everything was
process.
in order as far as,
Yes.
okay.
Yep, so it's basically the same process we do on all the bids.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, you weren't here, but everything was.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, everything was
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
order.
motion to approve.
Okay, motion's been made, seconded, we go ahead and approve the wording of that contract, Brad.
All right, thank you. Then we have the specs ready for the dump truck chassis, the tandem axle. And we would like to send those out and open bids August 10th for the truck chassis. And then we have the specs also ready for the dump bed, the underbody, all the other stuff that goes along with it then. And we'd like to send them out and open them August 31st. That way it gives the bed builders and that a couple weeks after we open the first one to kind of know what they're going to be dealing with.
And what about the bucket truck?
That is actually, the auction is Friday.
Friday?
So tomorrow I'm taking the mechanics and we are going Thursday. Thursday I'm taking the mechanics, we're gonna go and we're gonna go look at all of them, see what we think, and hopefully there's something worthwhile there. So,
Okay, anything else?
oh yeah.
Okay,
The next item I have is I have 3 permits for to install utility facilities in Adams County. The first one is Craigville Telephone. These are all 3 different companies, by the way, so I'll do them each separate.
okay,
The first one is Craigville Telephone on County Road 300 South between 5 and 600 West. It's a new house going up and they're just gonna run a line up to the house. It's
Okay.
simple, they're straight across the road and that's it.
Overhead or,
Underground.
okay, so you want to make a motion on that one then?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
so moved.
Second.
motion's made, second to go ahead and approve that.
Okay, can I just have them sign all 3 of these when we get them all? Okay, the second
Sounds
one,
good.
County Road 450 West, starting at US Highway 224 and going north for 1,250 feet. Indiana and Michigan Power, they're going to install some new poles, replace the old ones, and they're going to run a 3-phase power line. I went out and met with them, and I'm getting them, their poles right now are almost in the bottom of the side ditch. There was room in the right of way, talked to them. And I said, new poles going up, this would be a good time to move them back, and they were in agreement with that. They're going to actually move them back to the back of the right of way and get them out of the bottom of the side ditch. So I was very pleased with that. So I would like, if you guys would make a motion to go ahead and accept this one too.
Okay. Any questions?
Was that now?
Motion.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
motion's been made, seconded, we go ahead and approve that.
All right, the third one, is it on the same road? It's kind of for the same project. It's NIPSCO. They are going to install a 4-inch gas main running back to this customer, 450 West, starting at US 224 going north for approximately the same footage as AEP. I met with them out there also, and with NIPSCO, they're kind of limited on where they can run their lines because they have to stay so far away from other utilities and that. So we've discussed all that. I've met with them out there and I don't see a problem with that one either.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made, seconded, we go ahead and approve that permit, Brad.
I'll get a copy of those as well.
Who's that for, Brad?
That'd be Mike's for me. His farm stuff. He's put in, or grain dryer and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that way I don't have to. I just do it later. Yeah. Except for the motions and stuff. Already did that. Do I need some too? I want to sit back down. You can just email those later if you want, or make copies if you want, whatever's easiest for you. All right, I'll do that too. I appreciate that. So the next thing I have, we have our MVH and LRS draw for July. MVH total for July $290,084.14. $290,084.14. And again, you can kind of tell, last year, this was when we were getting hit by everything that was going on. So, it looks a lot better this year. And we'll notice that in both of them. The local road and street for July, the draw was $45,711.27. $45,711.27.
Well, that's better than last year too, for sure.
It is,
Yeah, it was interesting last year, it kind of hit a little bit a couple months later. And you're definitely, compared to this year, you can definitely tell it now, a lot of more driving going on, so.
Okay, well, that's a good improvement. Year-to-date for the MVH is $187,894.41 over.
Yes.
Local road and streets, $27,370.04 over. You want this? Okay, gentlemen, any other questions on that?
No.
Okay, I need a motion to go ahead and accept that report into the minutes.
So moved.
Okay.
And basically, the last thing I have, just letting you know.
Made, seconded. Go ahead.
Just letting you know that, weather holds this week, we should finish up chip and seal.
Okay,
I am so proud of my guys. They went out, they've hit it. And they have kept moving, and just saying, compared to a lot of other counties, we are way ahead. And that will give us more time in dry weather to do other things that need done. And to go along with that, our guys will get back out mowing again. They can get off the chip seal crew and go mow.
So I was gonna ask if they're mowing.
We've had one out the whole time. We actually got two today. We got everybody back, and so as soon as we're done with chip seal, all 5 of them will be back out. So
Good.
that's very good. Thank you, sir.
that's it. Thank you, guys.
You have a good day. Rick, you're up.
It's kind of hard to kind of circle it there. What this is it's a circuit panel. It's a circuit panel over at the courthouse, and what it does is runs our pumps for the sprinkler system. And that's not a very good picture, and I apologize. There's a burn area on it. And due to checking of it, routine checks, and the alarm had sounded off, not the fire alarm, but our alarm system over there. I was hoping to have the quote. This happened last Friday. I do not have that yet. I asked about it again yesterday. The gentleman was on vacation, just got back Monday. Didn't have time, but we're gonna have to replace that. So that's just a heads up there.
Okay,
And that is at the courthouse.
courthouse?
That has nothing to do with the HVAC system at all. That's
No.
just complete different
That's a
system.
whole different. Okay. Hopefully I'll be able to get back with you even before the next meeting, let you know what's going on, Rex, with that.
Okay,
Last week I had, last week or the week before about the shredding of documents
right.
that we've offered. I've backed that off. I do have a firm date with that. I backed it off because we do have state auditors in here in Tony's department. And, I believe is what treasurer has things going on there. So the date will be August 23rd, and that's on a Friday. And I'm kind of, this can be, the dates can change here. I kind of, the 20th is a commissioners meeting, which is on a Tuesday, obviously. So maybe anytime after that, that would give them that half a day or so, the 21st and the 22nd, to get all that over here in this room before Friday, the 23rd.
Okay, very good. Anything else, Rick?
Wonder if anybody else has got meetings in this room?
I
Trying to think who else meets in here.
don't believe at that time.
Does,
District,
zoning-
health.
The only
But,
one that I know may be on a Friday would be the sewer district,
the only one I can think
but
of.
I'm not sure. Okay, it's the second Friday, so we missed
So you
that.
wouldn't be in here that week.
So,
Okay.
other than that, gentlemen, other than routine
that it?
things, that's all I got.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, we'll go ahead and move into the next on the agenda concerning the solar discussion. And what I would do is I'd like to welcome those of you who are attending just because of this part of the commissioners' meeting. I'd like to thank each and every one of you who have sent comments either by telephone, emails, or text. All were read. We responded to some, but due to the numbers of the responses that we had, we couldn't respond to all of it. So some of you did not receive responses. Before we proceed any further, there are actually, I think, 3 points I'd like to bring out concerning some of the comments that were made, just to clarify them and get them on public record. The advertisement that was sent to the residents of Adams County that stated the phrase partnering with Adams County was incorrect. There is no partnering with the county. The agreements are strictly between the solar companies and the owner of the land that is being leased. The county has no say in the content of the lease agreements. The landowner that signs a lease agreement is doing so at his or her own risk. And it is recommended that legal counsel be consulted prior to signing any of those contracts. In some of the opposing comments, it was alluded to the possibility that we, the commissioners, were being wined and dined and was promised the moon, whatever that means. We want this on record and publicly set straight. Each one of the commissioners individually visited a solar farm in Ohio, and transportation was provided to each one of us. We were not wined or dined, and when I checked last, the moon was still in the sky. This other statement is to address comments like, why don't you just hurry up and make a decision, don't take so much time, or get it done. Let me turn this around and ask each one of you a question that a wise man asked many years ago. Which one of you would build a tower without first counting the cost? Applying this philosophy to a project of this magnitude would indicate that adequate time should be involved in the decision making. On May 25th, 2021, the Planning Commission certified their recommendation for the solar energy system standards. The commissioners actually received this recommendation during the commissioners' meeting on June 1st, 2021. We have 90 days from the certification date to act on that recommendation. This decision that is about to be made has major consequences and involves millions of dollars, not only to those who would like to lease their land, but also to Adams County, which in turn affects each taxpayer in the county, both rural and urban. As commissioners, we represent all of our residents, and this decision is not being taken lightly. We understand this is a very emotional issue, and strong feelings can run very high on both sides of the fence. As commissioners, we need to take our emotions and leave them outside this room. At this time, here's how the meeting will be conducted. We will allow limited input from either the ones that are for or against, and we'll also allow the companies, the solar companies, to go ahead and have limited time to go ahead and give input to us. So if there's anybody at this point in time that will, I want to tell you also, this is not a public hearing. Okay, so basically that public hearing was done, I think it was May the 6th by the Planning Commission. And all the comments that were heard at that time, we were all there at that meeting, and all the comments that have been given to us. So we heard about everything, both pro and con. So at this time, I'm just going to throw it open and see if anybody wants to go ahead and present their comments. Yes, come, step forward here too if you're going
Is
to
it
do
okay
it.
if I go first, or do you want?
You can go
somebody
first.
else?
Just make sure you state your name.
Yeah. Good morning, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Right. My name is Katya Samochescu. I'm a senior manager at Invenergy, working in Indiana. I've been working with Ethan here in Adams County, and not going to restate all the things that you've already heard, but just wanted to say that we've been here for weeks now, talking to a lot of people in Adams County, and most of the time, even though there is some concerns and negativity, we're getting questions like, why would somebody support solar in the county? People definitely want to learn about it. People have questions, and overwhelmingly, the interactions with us have been positive. So we think there is a tremendous amount of support from the community. That's one thing. The other thing is that because of that support, all we're asking for is that we're part of the conversation, and that the Adams County develops regulations that are not special or unique or give us any waivers, but just are in line with other counties, like Jay County, Delaware County, Clinton County, Huntington County, LaGrange County, many counties in Indiana that have developed solar ordinances just very recently because of responses to interest. And lastly is that our landowners thought long and hard before they signed agreements with us. There's a lot of consultations with attorneys, visits to solar projects, lots of questions. So nobody made those decisions lightly for their families. And I think what they're looking for is for reasonable regulation and for the county to have something in place that is protective, but doesn't prevent them from exercising their property rights and doesn't overregulate this fledgling new industry. Thank you.
Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, you want to step forward? And then state your name for us, please. Oh, sorry. Okay, you go after him, okay?
Carl Keller. My address is 4714 West 1150 South, Geneva. I live in Hartford Township. My grain setup is in Hartford Township. I have 4 farms in Hartford Township. My property taxes in Adams County alone is over $11,000 a year. My oldest son has a farm in Hartford Township on Road 300. He just purchased that last year. My youngest son has a farm in Hartford Township on Road 1000. The solar company has an option on that farm to lease it for $800 a year, or $30,000 a year. A few years ago, I purchased 100 acres on Road 650 West. Purchase price $800,000. Improvements to date: we removed the fence rows. We're cleaning up the abandoned building site. We capped off 4 abandoned water wells. The county cleaned the open ditch. Appreciate that. Area farmers installed a 30-inch drainage tile to improve the productivity. My mortgage on that farm is $700,000. Currently, the farm has a negative cash flow. Installing solar panels will generate $80,000 in annual rent. At that point, my return on the investment would be 10%, which makes it a very attractive investment. My concern is the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. In this case, the solar company has the gold. If the small property owners win their solar battle against the solar company, they'll take their $100 million and move down the road and probably get tax abatement in the next county. The landowners are the ones that are going to take the big hit. $800 per acre per year. Putting solar panels on 2,000 acres in Hartford Township will not cause a shortage of corn and soybeans. I'm really not big on the social issues. My interests are strictly financial. I don't get too concerned about how high the deer fence is, where the electricity is gonna go, where the money's coming to pay for this, what they're gonna do after 30 years. I don't need advice on signing contracts or anything like that. I don't need advice from the anti-solar people. We've been farming for 30 years and done very, very well. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
My name is Brian Walker. I live out on 600 West, 6543 North, 600 West, so I'm a Preble Township resident. First of all, the one thing that does bother me about all this is that I live out there right where this is going to be, or proposed to be built. I've never been contacted once by anybody until I went to a golf outing in Decatur and got rumor that this was going on. Everybody that is around me that's a property owner for farm property that was solicited was contacted. And so the initial meeting that we had on this was not known to everybody, and it was not made publicly known other than maybe being posted in the paper. So not all of us knew about it. And the more that I talk to neighbors around me, the more I find out that a lot of them didn't know anything about this. So a lot of this has been done under the table by the solar companies going to just the people that they're interested in. Well, I'm here to represent those of us that have not been represented and that are not in favor of this and that stand to lose property value, possible pollutant to our contamination to our properties and our water soil or our water level. Magley has a natural drainage that runs from north or south of 224, straight northwest right to the Kritzman Ditch, which is right where our house sits. So all that property that's in between 224 and the Kritzman Ditch, there's an issue, possibility if there are pollutant issues with that area. And I don't know if that's been considered yet with soil tests and what's going to be done to protect the residents that aren't benefiting from this. But as a property owner, I would like to see some protection from our county representatives that may very well vote these setbacks to a level that will allow them to do business here. The 1,320-foot setback has been said that if that is approved, that the solar company won't do business here in Adams County. 1,320-foot setback does not prevent solar from doing business in Adams County. It makes them work a little bit harder to get more of that land that they want to use. So if they want to use the land, or if the people around them want to use, the property owners want to use that land, then buy me out. Because once it's there, no one's going to want to move into my house or my property when I want to sell it, when the property values are down or when the land is polluted. And we have to live with that then. All I'm asking for is protection for those of us that are in opposition, that don't want to live with this. I'm not opposed to solar. I'm opposed to taking farm ground, productive farm ground from our area and turning it into an industrial utility field that very well may pollute that area and never return to farm ground again 55 years after these contracts are over. So I'm not opposed to solar. There's probably better places that we could do it, not in our productive farm ground. But as a property owner, I would ask that you protect us, those of us that are opposed, with a 1,320-foot setback. That's all I wanted to speak about today. So thank you very much.
Very good. Thanks, Brian. Anybody else?
Hi. My name's Melissa Fay, and I didn't really plan to speak today. I didn't know we would be allowed to speak. And I appreciate, Rex, that you've said that you're not going to look at this in an emotional way. And I appreciate that, because that's what people like you should do. But I look at it in a very emotional way. I live in Hartford Township, And I have seen the division between my neighbors. This is a community I've lived in all my life, and we have always pulled together. We went through the tornado after the Palm Sunday tornado, and we pulled together as a community, and we built our town. But I'm afraid these solar companies that come from the big city are tearing our poor little community apart. And I don't like that. And that's what I want you to hear from my emotion and my heart. And that's how we feel. So many of my family and friends feel this way. There are places for solar. I understand that. There's lots of places for solar in our country. But I don't think our agricultural ground in Adams County is the place for it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Melissa. Okay. Yeah, do you want to speak?
No, can you turn the volume up just a little bit? Their backs are all to us and we can't.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, yeah.
That microphone, I think you have to kind of speak right into it.
Yeah,
For people to hear you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, anybody else? Yes.
My name's Dan Gerard, 7427 North 400W. I did not want to speak today, but I am not happy about everybody telling me what I can and cannot do with my own ground. You know, if these people don't want these solar panels on my farm, maybe they should come and buy my ground for more than what the solar panels are going to pay. I'm willing to sell. Everything's got a price. Solar panels, I mean, what are we going to do? Electric cars, electric trucks, everything's going to be electric. Where's it going to come from? Nobody worries about these cars with all these big batteries in them crashing into things. Now you got battery acid running all over everywhere. Nobody worries about that. But put a solar panel on my farm and everybody's upset about that. I just figured out just today, there's another grain lake setup going into our area. Damn, I'm smarter than that. I don't want that there. But do you think I'm going to say I don't want that there? No, I'm going to shut my mouth, because if that's what he wants to do with his land, let him do it. I have no problem with that. Nor should people have problems with what I have and I pay taxes on and I pay my mortgage on. They shouldn't have no say about it. I'm sorry. Farm ground comes up for sale. Shut your mouth, put the money out there. It's a hell of an investment. We get stuff shoved down our throats, regulations. We have to paperwork. Farming is not like it used to be. We get other things shoved down our throats, and we have to accept it. Somewhere along the line, fellas, it's a changing world. Do I like change? I don't like change. Was it hard for me to sign my ground up? I worked my bag off for years to own that farm. Did not come easy to sign my name to that line at all. But it makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Chris Engelhardt, 6200 Southwest State Road 116, Bern. I'd like for the commissioners to approve the setback as proposed by the planning committee. Driving up here today, there's field after field of corn and beans and cut wheat. Beautiful sight. And like Bob Bixler spoke at the first meeting of the millions of chickens that's and turkeys that's in our area that they need this farm ground to help support. And also there's large confined cattle operations. We have a large influx of Amish here. And so if all that ground gets taken up, they're not going to be able to afford or be able to buy ground in order to build. So I don't know if they'd move out or what their plan would be on that. But one of the things that I believe was in that proposal was that if a landowner could sign a waiver and they could get closer than the 1,320 feet. So if a small property owners didn't mind the solar farms, they could always sign the waiver so that they could build it up closer than 1,320. But without that, the solar panels could build wherever they wanted to. So I hope that they pass the ordinance as proposed by the Adams County Planning Commission. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Steve Sipe. We live on Franke Road, close to Maples in Allen County. We're a landholder. We've contracted with Invenergy. First of all, we appreciate all of you gentlemen's hard work. I've alluded that to you. I'm glad I'm not in your shoes. We feel strongly that the energy industry is changing. As one gentleman just said, it wasn't easy to sign this contract, but we believe it's the right thing to do for the future of not only our country, but the community. We think it's a heck of an opportunity. With the ever-changing world situation and political climates and the way the wind blows, who knows what our energy situation is going to be from year to year. Once established, this type of energy is there for a good long time. I'm not going to belabor the pros and the cons. You guys are well versed in those. You've heard them too many times. A couple of people have indicated or talked about finances openly and the profit to them. Yes, we would profit. We have a very personal need and feel like it's an answer to a prayer for that additional profit it would bring to us for a 3-year-old grandchild that is going to have all kinds of medical needs that we have no idea about in the future. This would make an incredible opportunity for us to set up a trust for him. And by and large, we just think it's the right thing to do for the future of the community, the area. And again, thank you for all your hard, dedicated work.
Thank you. Anybody else?
We'll be tearing things up before we even get it started here. But that's right.
In front of a microphone before?
No, not too often. I agree with Steve there. You guys had a lot of questions to get answered, and it is tough. It's tough for all of us neighbors. We got pros and cons. I hear some things that I don't agree with. Of course, our farm is out there right by the Magley. We got great neighbors. Can't ask for nicer neighbors. But there was something said here about being chemical. There's a lot of spray. We farmed our whole lives. We use all kind of sprays. You look across these cornfields and bean fields. There's no weeds out here today. Cancer, things are coming. They say the solar panels is going to affect our ground. I don't know where the proof is. I don't understand where it would make our ground worse. That's a big, you can't even plant a garden in your backyard today. And I'm not against spray. I'm not against these farmers because I've done it myself. But the drift, tomato plants, anything, it's in the air. You don't think it's getting in these streams? When I was a kid, we was in the creek playing. You don't see too much wildlife in the creek anymore. There's a lot of runoff. There's a lot of things in the air. Does that solar panel do that?
I can't tell you. We don't know. I think it's a good income for the families that are involved. It's a no-brainer not to take this. They say we're taking out good farm ground. That's a possibility. But you know as well as I do, the farmers today produce more corn and more beans than they ever have. Wheat this year, 125 bushel acre. You ever heard it? They're getting better farming. But the energy is coming, whether it's coming here or coming there. But the people that want to move out in the country, they want to control us farmers that lived there our whole lives. And I don't think it's right to tell us what to do with our farm ground. And I know it's a big decision for all of you. And believe me, we got a great neighborhood. I'd like to keep it that way. I know there's some people who are gonna not like it if it happens. But life goes on, the world goes on, and energy is gonna come to solar power. Thank you very much.
What's your name? Name?
Ron Wigman.
Ron. Hey, Ron. How you doing?
Very good.
I thought I recognized you. Got anybody else?
Yeah.
Any other comments? I think before you move on, so the ordinance amendment that was proposed by the Plan Commission as an addition to the land use ordinance was submitted to you, certified May 25th of 2021, as an amendment to that ordinance being Article 6, Solar Energy System Standards to Adams County, Indiana Land Use Ordinance. So that's the ordinance that's in front of you. By statute, it's in front of you you've got a period of 90 days to act on that ordinance. If you fail to act within 90 days, then it's deemed adopted as presented. The three options that you have in front of you for consideration of the ordinance are either adopt the ordinance as submitted, reject the ordinance, or amend the proposal and send it back to the Plan Commission. If the legislative body rejects or amends the proposal, it shall be returned to the Plan Commission for its consideration with a written statement of the reasons for the rejection or amendment. So if you determine to reject it, then you have to state the reasons for rejection. If you determine to amendment, obviously, then you'd have to state what those amendments are, and then it would go back to the Plan Commission. Now, the Plan Commission could turn around and send it back exactly the way it is, or they could consider it. It's up to the Plan Commission at that point, but then it would come back to the commissioners. So anyway, that's the standard. Those are the options that are in front of the Board of Commissioners today. It's on the agenda. It's been advertised on the agenda that you're going to consider the ordinance today. And so that's before you. So, Mr. Chairman, you're in charge. However you want to proceed for consideration of the ordinance is up to you.
Okay, I would go ahead and like to turn it over to the other two commissioners for their discussion and hear what they have to say. Steve, you want to go first?
I've spent a lot of time and consideration on this. I've talked to a lot of people that are sitting in the audience and a lot of people that's not here. There's a lot of pros for it and there's a lot of cons for it. But without additional information, I feel that we need to stick with the Adams County Comprehensive Land Use that we have in order at this time. Stan?
Well, I wrote up a paper, but I don't think anybody wants to sit and listen too long, but I just want everybody to know that we have listened to everybody. You know, I've got pages of emails for, pages of emails against. I've read everyone. I haven't responded to everyone, but I've paid attention to everyone. I've got some thoughts. I think large commercial solar installations in Adams County would remove thousands of acres of prime agricultural land from active crop production. I think it would create commercial installations with massive effects on local land and roads that would be taxing on our infrastructure. I think it would create commercial installations that would be difficult to remediate back to productive agricultural land when they're decommissioned. I do think it would provide a positive cash flow for landowners who are able to participate in the commercial solar projects. It would provide a potential increase in tax income to Adams County. It would provide a decrease in crop production and associated industries such as seed sales, chemical sales, machinery sales. It would allow participating landowners in Adams County to participate in renewable energy projects. So this is not an easy, clear-cut situation. This comes down to what's the best for Adams County residents, and just like Mr. Gerard said, it comes down to landowner rights, and it makes it a very difficult situation. We do have precedent to restrict landowner rights as far as intensive livestock, residential buildings, manure pits, things like that. We also have restricted the windmills in our ordinance there. So there is precedence to restrict, to have a restrictive ordinance if we see a negative effect to Adams County as a whole. As an Adams County Commissioner presented with a recommended special use ordinance for commercial and solar land use variance, I've read and studied the proposed ordinance. I'm not real happy with all the things in the ordinance. I'm not real happy with the way it was initiated through the Plan Commission. I think as far as our land use ordinance, it talks about encouraging citizen involvement to increase the developer's sensitivity to compatibility issues. I think this could have been handled differently as far as getting increased citizen involvement from the time this started being discussed. As late as last night, I talked to somebody who still didn't know about it. It's like, why is that? Why was this not brought out according to the comprehensive land use plan to the public the way it should have been? In the end, as I read through over and over again the comprehensive land use plan, it does discourage commercial development in rural areas. So it very much discourages taking agricultural land out of production for commercial installations. In addition to that, the Plan Commission has handed us an ordinance that is very restrictive. So between those two things and between the research that I've done, the people that I've talked to, the people I've listened to, I am, did you make a motion?
No, I did not.
No, there's no motion.
That's kind of my thoughts at this time, so.
Okay, well, gentlemen, you've heard the options that our legal counsel has presented to us. So are you ready to take a vote on this issue?
Didn't hear a motion.
I would need a motion if you're ready.
I would make a motion that we accept the ordinance as the Plan Commission presented to us.
I would second that.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded that we go ahead and approve the recommendation by the Planning Commission that has been presented to us and certified on May the 26th.
Is there any additional discussion by the commissioners? This is just by the commissioners. Do you have anything to add, Rex?
Anything you want to add to it? I know that this has, I know we've spent a lot of hours.
This has been a really tough decision,
It's been hard.
and I just hope all the nays realize that we're leaving $1.6 million a year out there on the table as revenue for the county. So if down the road taxes have to come up, just remember that. That's all I have to say.
You could also be subject to state directives
Yes.
also. That would be something that may come down the pike too, so.
You got a motion and a second, I guess you call for, otherwise it passes unless you decide to vote as well. Rex?
Say aye. Okay, motion carries.
All right, so it'll show then the ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission is adopted.
Okay. Thank everybody for all your input that you've given to us and the time you spent. Okay, Shannon, you're gonna be up. You're next on the agenda.
Barry.
Is Barry up?
Yeah.
Barry's up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Barry, okay, we'll take Barry first. Where's he at? Oh, there he is. Sorry, Barry. I didn't see you over there, sir.
Behind the corner. As you know, I'm Barry from the sewer district, and I'm bringing some information to you and coming asking for a project we did May 12th of 2020. We had an agreement, promissory note, resolution type deal set up with you guys on borrowing money from you for our projects, future projects. What we are in process, SRF has us very high on the list again. I talked with the engineer this morning. He feels by the end of this month, we'll know how much money we're getting. The way it sounds, we're rated number one, tied for number one with Wells County also again. We have a list of projects on the books that we've already done the preliminary engineering for. And what we're asking for is to see if there's a chance we could borrow from the rainy day fund, do the same thing as what we did last May. And hopefully, you know, we paid you off in quick time on that the last time. But SRF wants us to be shovel ready again. And in order to do that, we have to get things rolling. Our board last Friday, we had a board meeting. They voted to move forward with hiring them to do it, or hiring the engineer to go ahead and start the design work. We would have to stop that immediately if they're that, or we'd have to go to the bank and borrow money. We'd have to come up some way of coming up with the money to pay this or stop it. I don't know if you want to know the areas we're looking at. They call it the Sunnybrook or Andrews Addition. We would leave the Monmouth extended line. We'd run to 100 west down to 1000 north, over to 200 west, down to 1100 north, all the way to Oakwood Trailer Court. And then possibly now Bingen Church has contacted us about getting sewer to their school. Their system is 20 years old also, and quite a lot of ground. We would be going west from Preble to Magley. Yost Woods now is in this project. We at first was going around it. We've included it into the project. So Yost Woods, but the reason that wasn't in it is the city of Decatur had too much water coming into their infrastructure because of all the rainwater and all the problems. We have a method of fixing that problem. It'd be a slash county. I know the commissioners have heard lots of people complaining about water problems out there. We're going to convert the old sewer system to a stormwater system to drain all the flooding problems in there and put a brand new septic system or a sewer system in.
So our sewer system would run clear down through Yost Woods?
We would completely change Yost Woods over to all the way to the toilet seat, more or less what I call it. You know, we would run new lines all the way in and get rid of the infiltration that's going in there. So we have not went to them. I know that group has already come to you guys about the SRF or the, ARP money. So we, here at 1150 on our grant deal, we've added that.
We may knock a little bit of the other areas out, but it's for the best of the whole deal there. Northwest Winchester Road, we would leave pre-stress from where we stopped. We would go down to 900, go a little bit down 900 to the west. And sorry to say, Stan, we'd be coming down to your place. So here I am, I'm getting a commissioner, and then also we'll be going back down, I believe that's 200 or 300, back towards 750, around the curve, and going back to the south.
Rick, you want to close that door?
So, and then also we would have an extension to Clems Lake project. We would be going from where we finished on the Clems Lake project and going south to 224, and we would take 224 almost to State Road 101. And also we would jump over a mile south, and we got a lot of problems. The health department pushed this one over on 600 north, just a mile over about where the city built a new water plant, from there out east. And we'll be collecting. There's gonna be roughly about another 400 homes on this project, not counting the Yost Woods. The Yost Woods has got another 100 probably, or at least probably 70 or 80 in there.
When you determine new areas or possible new areas, what's your parameters? Do you look at?
The health department prescribes that to us. They're where their problem areas are. One problem area that they really want us to go for, and it's just not real cost effective, and efficient, I should say, and we may come back and look at some options, but the housing along 27, what is that, about 200, from 200 back to town, those houses on the east side, a lot of them, they're all failed, and the farmer behind them is wanting to shut all their drainage off to any water going from them across that property because there's sewage in it. So really the bottom line is here, I'm asking you to see if we could do this again. We had a very good agreement last time. We got you paid back in, good time. We feel fortunate that we have you. You guys got the project for us by having us have shovel ready. I believe we're gonna know a lot quicker because I think Mark wasn't at the last meeting, but it sounds very much like they want to get going fast because I got notified about being the State Board of Accounts getting audited. We have to be updated on that. We have, they're already asking, are we ready? Last Friday, they called and said, how quick could you guys go? And I know I'm gonna have to go to council meeting and ask, but I'd like to have you guys as,
When we did it last time, it was the treasurer that actually managed
it, yes.
the loan, and then you
They-
also paid interest
He calculated the interest, what was about 2%, I believe, or whatever you were making on the money.
1%. It was greater than what we were making on investments. And so the procedure is, requesting the commissioners to approve, a line of credit against the rainy day fund, that a promissory note would be signed. Anytime there's a draw on it, then the interest is calculated on each draw. And then once the closing occurs on the project, then that line of credit is paid back to the county with interest. And that was paid back, I think, in May of this year. We closed on project 3, and then the money was paid back to the county with interest. So it was a $500,000 line of credit. During the project, the district drew down the entire amount. Interest was calculated. Then once closing occurred with SRF, then the county's funds were repaid to the county with interest. So it's a win-win situation. The county makes a little bit of interest. It enables the district to, do the engineering, move forward with the project without having to go through a very expensive process of getting a bond anticipation note that just the issuance cost of those typically runs between $50,000 and $75,000. And if you figure that on $500,000, it's an outrageous, cost.
Did we have a term on that, or was it just kind of an open-ended line?
The terms are that it's to be repaid as soon as the closing occurs. And so as soon as practical after the closing occurs, it's to be repaid or I think within 2 years. I think there was a 2-year limitation on it.
There's a dollar amount yet to be determined on that, Terry.
I don't want to go over, well, they asked to up it a little bit, but I am totally satisfied with paying them. The price they quoted us was $700,000. I'm going to make the engineer hold out 200 and change.
So you want 500?
I don't want to go over that 500.
That's what you had the last time.
Yes, I just thought, don't you think, Mark?
Yeah,
That's,
no, I think that's fine.
And the amount we've got in our rainy day fund, I guess I could look here.
It's about 1.9 million to 2 in that neighborhood.
You know, and there's a chance, you know, I know me and Rex have talked about, you know, that other, the part of it, and we was gonna push Oakwood or Yost Woods back. Now that we got it pushed in, we may be looking at some other, you know, if we don't get as much on the grant, we may be able to hopefully work with you guys on that a little bit.
Well, there's also a possibility that there's the State Water Infrastructure Fund. And so you've heard us talk about that, the SWIFT fund. And so that provides matching money if the county were to pledge a portion of its ARP money, and you've got over $7 million allocated to the county over the next 2 years for that ARP fund. And one of the categories to spend those funds is for water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure improvements. And so if the county, and I believe the district will also come in probably sometime soon, and certainly at least by the next county council meeting, would come to the commissioners and ask that you consider, when you adopt your ordinance for the spending of that money, you have to adopt an ordinance. The commissioners and council will have to adopt a joint ordinance and plan to spend those funds over the next 2 years. That the district is likely going to ask for some of those funds, maybe $1 million of ARP money, to go towards sewer infrastructure projects. The great thing about this State Water Infrastructure Fund is if the county pledges $1 million of their ARP money towards sewer infrastructure, the state will match it at least dollar for dollar, and depending upon the sewer rates, it may match it 2 to 1. In other words, $1 million pledged by the county could get a $2 million match from the State Water Infrastructure Fund. And then you turn around and go to SRF and do your financing with SRF, which we've been doing at 90-10. They pay 90% and 10% is paid by a bond. And so you're able to do projects for a fraction of the cost, which allows you to do these projects and hold rates. The district's been able to hold rates and still do these projects, which up until just a year or so ago was pretty much unheard of. In our first project, our loan to grant ratio was 45% grant to 60 or 55% loan. So only got 45% grant money. And that was project one. Project number two, which was the Bobo area, we got 100% forgivable loan. No loan at all grant. And project number three, we got 90%, or 80%, 80%.
Yeah, 80-20.
80%, 80-20. I was thinking it was 90. But it looks like this go around, we might be able to get 90%. But you don't want to, it's kind of like when you look at matching, it's kind of like you work for an employer that has a 401k plan. And if you put in 10%, they'll match 10% or match 5%. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you leverage those funds when you have matching funds available? So anyway, I think, the district's going to come to the commissioners and the council at some time, probably in the near future, to show how those ARP funds can be leveraged with this other program. And it's an incredible amount of money.
Is there a time element on that other program?
Not right now.
You never know about that.
Well, it's kind of first come, first serve, and we think that right now the time is right because of the revolving line of credit that the county is in cooperation with the county and the sewer district. That's enabled the sewer district to have these projects ready to go. And when it comes to getting grant funds, it's the projects that are ready to go that get the money. By this time next year, a lot of other districts and other counties are going to have their act together, and they're going to have projects in the queue, and the competition is going to be a lot tougher for those dollars. So the entities that are ready now and move now are probably going to get the largest amount of those funds.
That's why we're leaning Yost Woods into this. You know, we talked about having the 5th project after this one got done. Well, we're thinking maybe we're better off to get that included and get it all done in one big project. Now, it's scary for me. I mean, we're already busy, and there's not gonna be a break in between here, but
Barry, you'd mentioned a trailer court up north. Are they thinking about?
well, they're trying to bail out, but if we go to Bingen or to Winnicott School, then that'll trump everything, and we'll make sure. I know the neighbors out there want that because the ditch has sludge running into it. I mean, the state wants it. It's a very bad area for that. I don't think there'll be any problems getting that hooked up. It's just gonna be some work on our part to figure out how to do it because of the infrastructure that's there. You know, we don't want to get rainwater but it needs it. That needs it more than anything. I've caught wind from them that they're talking about putting 70 new trailers in that court. Don't know that it's a fact that they're doing that, but I know they're cleaning it up a lot.
Yeah, it looks a lot better.
And if we can get there, but if we don't get them, we probably won't go get Winnicott and the trailer court if something happens there, because you're stretching yourself out a little bit.
Mark, what is the potential, instead of doing the engineering costs on a loan basis, using ARP money for engineering costs instead of a loan type?
We just don't know what the time horizon is on that. It may take, the loan process here is a lot quicker. It's going to get repaid. And that's why we're thinking about doing both. At least we know that we're able to pay some engineering, because we're asking engineers to basically hold their, you know, their
fees.
They don't want to hold 700.
They don't
I
wanna-
can work the 200 out of them, or make
they
them
don't
carry
wanna- They
that.
don't want to hold 700,000 for a year. It may take, 6 months to get that SWIFT money. Now, it's a good question, because if we could get that stuff, if we get that money within the next 60 days, then sure, we could use that money. But there's really no risk to the county here, because it's going to get paid back with interest. And it just helps. And honestly, when it comes to ranking of the projects, interlocal cooperation ranks high. And so when they see that the county is working with the district to make these things happen, that increases your score and your ranking, because there's interlocal cooperation. So
I want to see what they're going to give us as far as this grant first before we step up and say, okay, maybe we can do this. Or the chess match, I think, needs to be, I'll tell you, I feel a lot better about this time. The last time when I come and ask you for $500,000 and not knowing 100% that I was going to pay you back that year, I was nervous. I was very nervous.
Well, and at that point, with the engineering costs,
It's always
our grant has been approved already, or not necessarily.
Not necessarily yet.
Not necessarily.
We're gonna get some. We don't know. We're asking. Right now, it's $12 million. This project right here, now it's adjusted some because of Yost Woods. That'll change out the outcome. But it's estimated our preliminary engineering come in at $12.2 million for this project. The one we're just finishing up was 10. So it's a little more. We figured inflation with everything, with the getting stuff. That might jump up to 13 if they give us. They asked if we needed it all, needed the full 12 million to get this going. Baker Tilly come back and said if we would get 10 million and borrow 2.2, we could keep our rates as is, and no problem. And have the growth included. Maybe not another.
That's where our ARP with combination of SWIFT money would be.
that would be key.
Plus.
Right.
Yeah, that would be key to that.
It would probably help on the Yost Woods. The Yost Woods, we're gonna be doing some things there that are outside our normal sewer district, because we're gonna create a storm sewer. and we're gonna fix the streets. I know Brad probably will appreciate that greatly. I mean, that's been a revolving phone call for years. I know even before he was around, but, you know, people complaining about that whole area. And the city of Decatur, I even bumped them about chipping in on fixing their line going. You know, we've had meetings and we've talked about it already.
And they feel good about what you're.
They really want us to do it because what we would take out of their inflow would be everything we give them. They get so much water out of that, you know, it's, that, they would be, well, and with them losing Driggs, we're moving up to number 2 as far as customers for City of Decatur. Driggs is 1, I forget who was 2, and we were 3, so we're.
So basically, Mark, we can go ahead and make a motion that we would approve the sewer just moving
That
forward.
you would approve a renewal of the line of credit up to $500,000 with the sewer district to be repaid over a period of 2 years at 1% interest, subject to approval of the Adams County Council.
Okay, all right, gentlemen, that's what we need.
I'd make that motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to go ahead and approve moving forward with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All I need to do, I get on the agenda for the council and go present to them.
Right.
And I'll have to get the documents ready, the promissory, well, there's a resolution and a form and everything, so.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you very much,
Appreciate it.
Barry. Appreciate
Thanks for your
that.
work, Barry.
Right. Okay. Shannon. Thank you.
I'm gonna take a super quick break.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. With this here. Still trying to get it a lot. After 2, after 4. Right. You know.
Oh, you got it. Are we just gonna do the one for, oh, okay, I said.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll wait till Stan gets back. Stan, and then move forward with that.
What are you doing first?
Administrator.
These are 2 different ones.
That one should be quick.
Now, if I understand correctly, that interview scheduled for tomorrow has been canceled?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's been canceled, the interview for tomorrow?
For tomorrow. Yeah, he emailed me over the weekend to let me know he had accepted another position.
I don't think you need these.
Thanks. All right, so I gave you guys 2 different job descriptions. The first one that we're gonna look at is the job title administrator. This looks like, to me, it's a clerical error. So on page 3, under education and or experience, there's a line that states possess a grade DSS water distribution system operator, IDEM. And I'm asking for approval to remove that line. I did some research on what that is, and it's something relating to the health department, and it doesn't seem to me like it would relate to this position at Golden Meadows.
Yeah, I don't know how that got in there to begin with.
Do you need a motion?
Well, I think, I think probably somebody at one time just did that, so it was just put in. I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion's on the table, Sam.
To remove it?
Yes, to remove it. Second? Second. Motion's been made, second, to go ahead, Shannon, we'll remove that clause in that job description.
Okay, the second job description that I've brought to you guys today is the job title Finance Deputy Auditor. The changes to this job description are notated in yellow highlight. The major addition to this job description is the biweekly processing of payroll. Once Erin had departed from her responsibilities, some of those responsibilities were shifted into this position. So we wanted to get this job description updated to add what responsibilities this position does now that Erin did. So all of the items that are in yellow came from Erin's job description and are now going to be in the Finance Deputy Auditor job description.
The only question, I ask you on that too, Shannon and Tony, would be on page 2, the supervisory responsibilities. It said this job has no supervisory responsibility. Is that accurate?
I think Shannon and I discussed that briefly. At least for a time, I think there could be some supervisory stuff in there because the rest of the department will also be taking some of this work, and Bree will be supervising them on doing that and cross-training them and that and everything else. That should not be a forever thing.
Should it read limited?
I'm not sure how that should actually read. I mean, there will be some, at least temporarily.
I don't know.
Right. I think that the supervisory responsibilities for this job, as it currently stands, would be in a more training capacity until the rest of the team members were able to get up to speed on some of the duties that we're going to shift in the department. I don't think that this is going to have a long-term supervisory role, no.
Okay, so just leave it as is, and is what you recommend.
Are you looking at moving this position to an NE?
This position currently sits in an NE 5. There is an additional award of NE 6 rate because the position is as a chief. I'm going to recommend that this position moves to an NE 7, and then there will be an additional award of an NE 8 rate because the position is a chief. I don't have anything on paper in front of me today, but somebody who manages payroll as a general statement would make within the NE 7 to NE 8, not including any of the other responsibilities. And then I also am going to recommend, once I go to council with this, that this new rate change hopefully will be retroactive to May 15th, 2021, because that's when these new duties were actually assigned.
The only, I certainly agree, and I don't know if that supervision is gonna be a sticking point.
Yeah, I'm thinking that supervision responsibilities, there ought to be limited in there.
Okay.
If it not, I really think that should be notated as limited
So you
because.
got yourself covered. then,
Yes,
something
to cover
happens
it,
on
that, yes,
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that to cover
Okay,
that particular area.
okay.
yes.
So,
Are you thinking, Stan, is that,
what did you say?
like if we use the word limited supervisory responsibility?
Well, for an NE 7, it gives a bullet point of supervision will likely include oversight management of department employees and management of office workflow.
What do you think,
So-
Tony?
Well, she will have oversight
She
over
will.
the training of that. I get what you're saying. I discussed this with Shannon. I'm fine with limited supervisory positions or whatever you feel needs to be in there because certainly the wage appeals, which Stan sits on, will bring that up.
And
bring
this
it
is
up,
what,
yeah.
this is what our committee is gonna look at, I think, as we determine moving her to an NE 7.
Okay.
So I just kind of want to be confident that,
Yeah.
you know, everything fits.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if we want Bree in charge of anybody, but.
Okay, so I will make those
I'm wondering
provisions.
if it should say,
Limited,
this
good enough
job
Stan, for
has supervisory responsibilities, not limited. Drop the limited and drop the no. It does has.
that? Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, drop the limited and drop the no.
Okay.
Because it does have some.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that would make a much clearer
It adds more
Definition.
validity to what you're trying to accomplish.
when we hold it up to this guideline.
Okay. Okay, all right, well, I will make that change and then I will come back for reapproval next Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay?
Unless, can we approve it with that? I mean, that's the
Yeah,
only
you can
amendment.
go ahead and approve it
You
with
can
that
approve it with
change, yeah,
that change.
sure.
I mean, we'll be
As
okay
amended.
with that?
Yes, as long as that limited in the note is dropped out of there.
So it'll be
Okay,
this
so
job
make a
has
motion based on
supervisory
that then. Go ahead.
responsibilities. Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion on that.
I'd second.
Okay, motion's been made, second, that we go ahead and approve the job description with the change that we put down supervisory responsibilities.
Okay, and the
Okay.
only other update that I have is that I did receive a letter of resignation this morning from our Director of Nursing at Golden Meadows. So I want to discuss, hopefully some restructuring in possibly the title and some of the responsibilities across all 3 administrative positions at Golden Meadows to hopefully make things a little bit more efficient. So once I'm able to talk to that employee, and that department head, then I will formulate a plan and come back to you guys with a recommendation. So,
Okay.
just for
Hey,
information.
as we look at that position, as we look at that resignation, it makes me think that we need to address staffing issues.
I agree.
Because in my conversation, that was one of her concerns.
Right.
So does that need to enter into that same discussion?
Probably, yeah. Yes.
I think you're probably looking at an overall staffing
Mm-hmm.
change, if possible.
Yeah.
We have to just realign some stuff.
Yep.
Well, and even, I mean, just plain salary.
Well, we need to address that too.
I think it's a salary.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would agree.
What's
Okay,
our
well,
rate for a CNA out there?
The nursing assistant is rated as an NE2, which is a starting rate of $12.55 per hour.
And if they are a CNA certified?
There's no difference right now.
Yeah, so.
well, we'll go ahead and put that on your shoulders, Shannon.
Okay, but like I said, I want to get my head wrapped around it, talk to the department head and kind of put some ideas together and just at least give you guys
Yes.
something to consider instead of just, shooting out the gate for today.
That'll work.
Okay?
Yeah, very good. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thanks for your work.
Okay. Something that we probably should put this in the minutes to make it official. We had that discussion, Brad, on the uprights for the walking bridge. And, they were installed. They're supposed to be 6 inches, which is a federal code. They made them 5 7/8, right?
Yep, that's correct.
And it had been brought to our attention, possibly the state was at 4 inches, and that Mark Wynn had brought to our attention. So I think you guys saw the pictures that was sent to me. Stan, you've already made some
Well, there's a
observations.
difference between federal bridges and residential code. And Mark Quinn was definitely going by residential code.
Yeah,
So according to the specs on a pedestrian bridge, the federal specs on a pedestrian bridge, these
We're okay.
spacings are appropriate.
yeah. So I think I'd like to see a motion made to accept the work that's already been done with the spacing as provided that agrees with the federal code.
I'd make that motion.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and second that we go ahead. Brad, is that okay?
Yes,
If we accept this
yes.
as the work was performed?
I don't want to see you trying to stick your head through.
Okay, very good. Okay, Mark, you got anything else for us?
No, we'll just, I'll bring to you a draft ordinance for spending on ARP to include the first item that we discussed, which was the HVAC system, to try to utilize funds for that. We've seen other counties that have utilized those funds for that purpose, and it meets the spending guidelines, so I'll bring that to you. I think that would be a savings to the county, certainly, if you could utilize those funds for that purpose, so I'll bring that to you here in the next week or so.
Okay,
Anything on the software for dispatch with that?
No, I haven't researched that yet.
still working on that. I'm getting bids on that stuff.
As we approach that, do we approach it ordinance by ordinance by ordinance for
You
each
could amend,
specific?
you would amend it. You would pass an ARP ordinance, and then as you go along, then you would amend that ordinance.
Amend that.
But like say, if we want to use it for nonprofits, say Council on Aging, Operation Help, other nonprofits, do we create a separate ordinance?
No, we would amend the first ordinance.
And the first ordinance?
It's kind of like your seated ordinance for
But like
spending.
the executive orders that the governor issues, you start off with one and you just add
They just keep
50
adding
of
them.
50 of them to it.
Well, in this case, I think you want to have it as an amended ordinance, and that way each time, all of it is in the ordinance.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
When you get towards the end, all of the spending projects would be in the amended ordinance. So you could read the amended ordinance and see everything that was approved, as opposed to having to reach each individual ordinance and then total them
So
all
like
up.
say, as we approach the issue of nonprofits, we would be very specific on that, rather than just say, we're gonna use it for nonprofits.
Yeah, no.
We would just be very specific.
I think so. We have to look at the guidelines and see what you can actually do.
All right. Very good. Okay. Mike, did you have something you wanted to bring to us?
I had one invoice that you looked at last Thursday. I just got one copy of it. You want me to make copies real quick?
I can.
How's that?
Good, how are you, Stan?
Good.
I about got run over yesterday.
Really, by a big blue truck? Lucky you escaped with your life. I've seen him drive through town.
He's been stoned and ostracized people.
Yeah. Usually if I don't hit him with the truck, I'll catch him with the mirror. Sometimes I have to open the door to catch
I
him.
take it you don't have folding mirrors, yeah? He had to come back.
Yeah.
No. No. Yes.
Guess he just made it.
It's fine.
Thanks.
Which side are we looking at?
Well, I like this side because there's no dollar amount.
Yeah, it's the one with the dollar amount. on it.
Oh, really? Son of a gun.
Motion approved?
Yeah, this side, I'm gonna approve this side.
Free. I might need a copy of that after you're done. What was that next?
This is doing some power updates. We knew we had to do that over at the jail for the main data center. And we got a quote for the stuff. It's $8,059.57. And I have money into a fund that's out of 1,000 fund, 1,033,603. .000.9600. It's currently, there's 15,000 in there, so.
And that was 8,000 what, Mike?
33,603,
No, I'm sorry, the dollar amount.
$8,059.57.
I think it's on the back side of that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't turn that, oh, I had the wrong one.
So as we're rebuilding stuff in the main data center, we're redoing the power so that instead of it being on the floor where we're running across power cables and so on the main data center, it's going up above. So all the stuff has already been there. These are the connections between the servers and so on, going up. So that's the PDUs, power distribution units that are sitting in the racks. They'll plug in up above. And
things that only have one power supply, they'll have an automatic transfer switch. That's what the ATS stands for. So this is something that Blakey couldn't do or wouldn't do, or? These are purchase units. Oh, I see. Yeah, he doesn't wire those up. Gotcha. These are things that we have to go through a company like CX Tech, and you have to buy them. It's like buying a computer, or something like that. But
Are these huge or, because the shipping seems high?
yeah, they're pretty big. They're long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're long. They go up each sides of all the racks. And then they have certain breakers and stuff that's on the inside of them, so if something happens with one power, it just pops a breaker for that one. So they're made up of a lot of electronics. Automatic transfer switch. We have 2 buses that run into the room. So if you got units that only have one power supply, if something happens to one bus, then that unit's just dead. So we put these power units in as transfer switch. They automatically transfer. You plug the unit into them, and then those go up and plug into both the buses. So if one bus goes down, that transfer switch is still active, and it keeps these other devices with one power supply up. So
Mike, what's that fund number again? The
fund number is 1,000.
Yep.
And then the account is 33603 000 9600.
Thank you.
Yep. And that one we have the money in the budget to take care of it.
Okay, so we need to make a motion, go ahead and approve that. Second. Motion's been made and seconded, go ahead and approve the claim for $8,059.57, paid out of the fund as set forth.
The next one is a yearly maintenance agreement for our tape auto loader that is used every day. So just if anything needs to be replaced or anything like that for the next year, if something happens, even if the whole unit would go down, they would just ship us another unit or a drive that's in it or anything, but it's used every day. This tape unit is, and so that's the yearly maintenance of it is $1,151.73.
What fund? You got that coming out?
Yeah, got it here. It's fund 1,000. And the number is 35,700.000.9600.
Okay, gentlemen.
It currently has 75,000 in that one.
So moved. Okay. Second. Motion's been made, seconded, go ahead and approve the claim for $1151.73. That's how the fund account is.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it? Okay. All right.
That's it for me today, a short one.
I gotta take a break, guys. You guys got something?
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
There must be something in this building because this thing won't download nothing, just in this building.
Really?
Hasn't downloaded anything
Yes.
since 7 o'clock this morning.
Who is doing it, so like what company and where?
And that's the same thing I had last week or 2 weeks ago. Ethan went down there.
Have you changed your password lately?
Oh, yeah. I get out of this building, it'll download everything.
See, I just got an email at 11:43 today.
I don't get anything unless I leave this place.
Use your. Everybody step in quick.
Oh, go ahead. Wait on Rex.
Thank you.
We haven't.
So Shannon, we've got an interview this afternoon, but not tomorrow. Is that-
Correct. Yep, and I do have a couple of other candidates that I'm gonna review with you guys
Really?
after that interview, yeah.
Today? And you were taking us out for lunch, I heard.
Sure. As long as we don't go to Galley, right?
I got a lot of typing.
Shannon?
Yeah.
Are we meeting at 1 o'clock today?
I would like to, if you
Okay.
have time.
Okay.
Oh,
I've got to run out to the
Yeah, what
hospital,
tonight,
but
Jim?
I should be back by 1 o'clock. Might be a little after 1, maybe 1:15 work. Does that work? My office?
We have a, can we do it here? Because we have a 2 o'clock interview in this room.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah.
That we're all gonna be in.
Okay.
Sure you put
Yeah.
that in there,
Say
that the
1:15.
commissioners did a
Right,
great
I'll be
job,
here.
especially Stan
Yep.
and Rex.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Paulding County pastor
What?
for quite a while. I
Okay.
wrote the Finance Trustee News in the Paulding paper when this all came down in Paulding County. And,
Okay.
there was a lot of public meetings and
Yeah.
that type thing. People just didn't understand.
well, that was
When
my.
you say fringe, you mean as far as being taxable?
Starting
I don't know.
last fall.
How does is that how the sheriff's department is? They're not?
They don't
And
even,
stories,
they, right now, Dan is the only one that gets a sign,
size,
but I think they're all.
supposedly the windmills were going around and the sun shone through their windows in the afternoon, through shadow, and they had emotional breakdowns.
And I know even that was scanned in, so we would still have it in several years.
How do we do that? I don't understand the fringe. Not the friggin'. So do we give them, we pay them?
To scan in.
It just, it goes
Or,
on to
you know,
their
that way if there's a
paycheck,
question that comes
then it
up
comes
later.
back off. It's like a wash.
The Wayne Trade School District is the main district, Paulding South.
Right.
Especially Wayne Trade's benefited from the taxes. And they were getting over $1 million a year into their trade. And they had a very unfortunate thing happen. They had a bus collide with someone that was permanently injured, and they had a lawsuit against them.
Okay, but if it's a county
They
cell
were
phone,
able
that's
to
not
resolve
how
that
the
and
sheriff's
then go on.
right?
Within a
Right
year,
now, no, but there's
the
money
money
on
we
top.
got.
This is his deal. He does-
Well,
Okay.
Understand all that.
thanks for covering, Jim.
Who is it?
Anything else, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Mark and everything, so basically I will entertain a motion.
Same thing on the
To
vehicles
adjourn.
for sheriff's department.
Wait,
You got something?
yeah, the contract for the,
Oh, Mark, why didn't you say it?
I don't know.
Okay, Mark, you got a contract that we have to sign or?
For Chad Springer's.
Oh, no, I've, let me look at that here first. I think
Next
it's on my
week?
computer. Yeah, we can. I forgot. It's on, I thought I had it on my other computer. It's on this one. So I didn't.
I'd like to.
Getting back from vacation and
Yeah.
getting it rolling.
I worked on it up there and it's on this computer and I didn't have it
I
yesterday.
guess when we get that approved, I'd like to go down and talk to Charlie and Carol and Chad and Jenny
Yeah, okay,
together.
okay,
So,
all right. Yeah, we can, I'll bring it up here and make changes to it and send it to you guys.
All right.
make a motion.
Yeah, it's a mess. It should be
Motion adjourned,
uniform.
second,
Third.
So there's, I mean, I don't see any
okay,
reason why.
we are adjourned.